Hello friends, up till now we have discussed section 1 of CGST Act and some of the important definitions which is relevant to the term supply under CGST Act. Today we are going to discuss the meaning of supply as well as the schedule 1 of the CGST Act. We will also correlate the meaning of supply with the definition of a business as well as the definition of the consideration. So let us start with today's discussion. Section 7 of the CGST Act deals with the term supply. So the definition of supply given under section 7 of the CGST Act is an inclusive definition. So it may include any other thing other than listed in the definition itself. First, we will discuss the concept of a supply. So, supply shall be for a goods or a services. So, supply shall be for a goods or a services. What is goods? We have already discussed in a section 2, subsection 52 in our previous video. What is services? We have already discussed under section 2, subsection 102 in our previous video. Supply should be for a consideration. So the consideration definition is given under section 2 subsection 31 of the CGST Act. It is also discussed with various examples in our previous video. Further, supply should be made in the course or a furtherance of the business. So what is business? It is defined under section 2 subsection 17 of the CGST Act, which is also discussed in our previous video. So what is the conclusion? Supply should be made in the course or a furtherance of a business. Supply should be for a goods or a services, and supply should be made for a consideration. So these three terms you must remember. This is a core heart of the term supply. So the supply of anything other than a goods or a services like a money, security, etc. does not attract the GST. So we have already learned the definition of a goods and a services, that the definition of a goods and a services does not include the money and a security. So supply of a money or a security does not attract the GST. So what is the three principle or a 3 point I have given to you? Supply should be for a goods or a services, it should be for a consideration, and it should be in the course or a furtherance of the business. Now we will discuss the meaning of a supply and scope of a supply which is given under section 7 of the CGST Act. So we have already discussed that supply definition is an inclusive definition because it starts with the wording that supply includes sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease, disposal. This all transaction is included in the definition of a supply. Further, second condition is it should be for a consideration, and third condition is it should be in the course or a furtherance of a business. So this transaction plus the consideration condition plus the business condition, these three conditions must be fulfilled, then only it will be termed as a supply. Now we will read what is given in a clause A of section 7 subsection 1. So supply include all form of supply of goods or services or both, such as a sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease, disposal made or agreed to be made for a consideration by person in the course or a furtherance of a business. So the consideration is must, and second condition is the business is must for the purpose of treating such transaction as a supply. Further, what is sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease, disposal, etc. are not at all defined in the CGST Act. Next is the clause B of section 7 subsection 1, importation of a services. So for the purpose of importation of a service, I have prepared this chart. Importation of a services is given under section 7 subsection 1 clause B Further, it is also given in a Schedule 1. Schedule 1 of a CGST Act talks about certain transaction to be considered as a supply even if it is made without consideration. Here in a clause A, we have considered that for supply consideration should be must. However, whatever is given in a Schedule 1, even if it is made without consideration, it should be treated as a supply. So, import of a service, what is given in a clause B, importation of a service for a consideration should be treated as a supply. Here, business condition is not required. So, for a clause 7, clause A of section 7 subsection 1, consideration plus business both condition is required. However, clause B, that is for a import of a services, only consideration is required, business condition is not required. So what is given in a clause B, importation of a services for a consideration whether or not for the purpose of a business. So importation of a service for consideration, business is not relevant here, it will be treated as a supply. Now second point is regarding Schedule 1. What is given in a Schedule 1? Importation of a services from related person or his establishment outside India in the course or a furtherance of a business. Here the consideration is not important because whatever is given in a Schedule 1, such transaction will be treated as a supply even if it is made without consideration. So importation of any services from a related person or his establishment which is outside India, and if such import is in the course or a furtherance of a business, then it will be treated as a supply even if it is without consideration. So this is the chart for a import of a services. So for import of a services, whatever is given under section 7 subsection 1 clause B, consideration is important, business is not required. However, under Schedule 1, consideration is not required but business is required. However, such import is from a related person. If import is from another person other than a related person or a related establishment, then this Schedule 1 is not applicable here. Next one is the clause C. The activity specified in Schedule 1 made or agreed to be made without consideration. So supply include any activity listed in a Schedule 1 even if it is made without consideration. So under clause A we have discussed that supply includes certain transaction plus consideration is must plus business is must. Under clause B we have discussed the import transaction of a services. Here the consideration is required, business is not required. Now we will discuss the Schedule 1 where the consideration is not required. So certain transactions which are listed in a Schedule 1 will be treated as a supply even if it is made without the consideration. Now we will discuss the Schedule 1. What is given in a Schedule 1? Schedule 1, the heading is activity to be treated as a supply even if it is made without consideration. So first activity will be permanent transfer or a disposal of a business asset where input tax credit has been availed on such asset. So what is given on the first point? Permanent transfer or a disposal. Permanent transfer or disposal of what? Business asset. So permanent transfer of any other asset other than a business asset would not be considered here. Further, on such business asset, input tax credit must be availed in the past. If input tax credit has not been availed, then it would not form part of the supply. So permanent transfer or a disposal, first condition. Second condition is permanent transfer or a disposal of what? Business asset. And the third one is the on such business asset input tax credit has been availed. Then on such transfer it will be treated as a supply even if such transfer or a disposal of a business asset made permanently without consideration. So permanent transfer or a disposal of a business asset where input tax credit has been availed on such asset will be treated as a supply even if it is made without consideration. Next one is the supply of goods or services or both between related person or a distinct person as defined in a section 25 where it is made in the course or furtherance of a business. So here the business condition is must, consideration is not required. So what is the related person or a distinct person as per section 25? So as per section 25(4), the person who has obtained or required to obtain more than one registration, whether in a one state or a one UT or more than one state or a union territory, shall be considered for each such registration distinct person for the purpose of this act. We have also considered one example here. Suppose ABC Limited has a head office at Gujarat and a branch office at Maharashtra. ABC Limited had taken a separate GST registration for Gujarat and Maharashtra. Then, for the purpose of income tax or a companies act, ABC Limited along with its branch and a head office are considered only as a one entity. However, under GST Act per section 25 subsection 4, ABC Limited Gujarat and ABC Limited Maharashtra branch will be considered as a separate distinct person. So if ABC Limited Gujarat supply the goods worth rupees 5 lakh without any charge to the Maharashtra branch for selling it to the customer in Maharashtra, whether supply made by ABC Limited of Gujarat to ABC Limited Maharashtra branch will be considered as a supply as it is without any charge of money. So what is given in a schedule 1, as per schedule 1 of a CGST Act, supply of a goods or a services or both between the related person or between the distinct person as specified in a section 25, if it is made for the purpose of business in the course or furtherance of a business, it will be treated as a supply even if it is made without the consideration. So this transaction will be considered as a supply even if it is made without consideration. However, there is a proviso: if the gift not exceeding 50,000, that is gift up to rupees 49,999. So gift not exceeding 50,000. So that is gift up to rupees 50,000 in a value in a financial year by employer to the employee shall not be treated as a supply of goods or services. So if employer is giving a gift to the employee up to rupees 50,000, then it will not be treated as a supply of goods or services. So up to 50,000, the exemption is given via schedule 1. So what is proviso? I once again read out: provided that gift not exceeding 50,000 rupees in a value in a financial year, so the limit is year wise, by an employer to the employee, shall not be treated as a supply of goods or services or both. Now what is given in a point number 3 of a schedule 1? Supply of goods by a principal to his agent, where agent undertake to supply such goods on behalf of a principal. Further, supply of goods by agent to principal, where agent undertake to receive such goods on behalf of a principal, then this will be considered as a supply even if it is made without consideration. So supply by agent to principal or supply by principal to agent is covered in a schedule 1. Next one is the point number 4. We have already discussed in our import charge. So import of a services by a person from a related person or from any of its establishment outside India in the course or furtherance of business will be form part of a supply even if it is made without consideration. So it is already discussed in our import chart. This is our import chart and this is schedule 1, that is import from a related person or his establishment outside India which is in the course or furtherance of a business, and such import is for the purpose of services, then even if it is made without consideration, it should be treated as a supply as per schedule 1. Now, next thing will correlate this with the definition of a business as well as the definition of a consideration. However, first we will discuss section 7 subsection 1a, where certain transactions would constitute a supply in accordance with the subsection 1 which we have already discussed above. Then they will be treated either supply of goods or services as per schedule 2. So whether such supply will be treated as a supply of goods or a services, it is given in a schedule 2. So what is given in a schedule 2? Under schedule 2 it is given that when it is confirmed that it is supply as per section 7 subsection 1, then it shall be treated either as a supply of goods or either as a supply of services as per schedule 2. Next one is section 2, section 7 subsection 2. It is a superior section over subsection 1 because it starts with the wording that notwithstanding anything given in a section 7 subsection 1. So activity which are specified in a schedule 3 shall neither be treated as a supply of goods or services. So what is given in a schedule 3 will not be treated as a supply. Further, such activity or a transaction which is undertaken by central government, state government or a local authority in which they are dealing as a public authority as may be notified by the government will not be treated as a part of a supply. So what will be not treated as a part of a supply? Whatever given in a schedule 3 will not be considered as a part of supply. Further, where the central government, state government or a local authority, they are dealing in a transaction as per their public authority and which is notified by the government, then such transaction would not form part of the supply. Now we will discuss the subsection 3. Subsection 3 is subject to the subsection 1, subsection 1a and subsection 2. So it is a subject to the above discussion. The government may on the recommendation of a council notify that certain transactions should be treated as a supply of goods and not treated as a supply of services. Further, government may also notify that certain transactions should be treated as a supply of services and not supply of goods. So this is the discussion for section 7. Now we will discuss the definition of a consideration. We have already discussed in our previous video, but we are discussing for the purpose of a correlate with this supply, because as per section 7 subsection 1 clause A, consideration is must for the purpose of supply. So what is consideration? Consideration is a payment in terms of a money or other right by recipient or any other person. Further, the consideration include the monetary value of any act or a forbearance by recipient or any other person. So the consideration may be from recipient or any other person. Consideration may be in the monetary term or a non-monetary term. Then if it is a non-monetary term, then monetary value of such act or a forbearance would form part of the consideration. What will be the treatment of a deposit? Deposit will not be considered as a consideration. However, if the supplier applies such deposit for the purpose of consideration, then it will be considered as a consideration. Further, consideration will exclude the subsidy given by central as well as the state government. So please remember that only subsidy given by central or a state government will be excluded. Other subsidy are not excluded from the subsidy from the consideration. Now we will discuss the meaning of a business with various example to correlate with the definition of a supply. So meaning of a supply made in the course or a furtherance of a business. Any activity undertaken in the course or furtherance of a business would constitute as a supply if it is made with the consideration as per section 7 subsection 1 clause A. So what is the definition of a business? One of the clause in a definition of a business says that business includes trade, commerce, vocation, profession, etc. Whether or not there is a frequency, volume continuity or a regularity of a such transaction. So even one transaction will be constituted as a business, and if it is a business, if it is with the consideration, then such transaction would form part of a supply as per section 7 subsection 1 clause A. Now we will discuss the example. Suppose Mr. X buy a car for his personal use and after a year sell it to a car dealer. Sale of car by Mr. X to a car dealer is not supply under CGST Act because such supply is not made by Mr. X in the course or a furtherance of a business. So, for example, if you have a personal car which is not your business asset and you are selling such car to somebody else or a car dealer, then such sale of car will not be treated as a supply because it is not for the purpose of or in the course or a furtherance of a business. Same for example, Miss X sold her old jewelry to the jeweler. Sale of such old jewelry to the jewelers will not constitute as a supply because it is not in the course or a furtherance of a business. Now, one of the wording in section 2 subsection 17 that business include vocation. Therefore, sale of a goods or a services as a vocation is also considered as a supply. For example, Mr. A is a painter. He paints some painting and sell to them. The consideration from such sale is donated to a charitable trust. So, whether the consideration received by Mr. A painter will be considered as a part of a supply? Yes, sale of a painting with a consideration. Further, it is in the course or a furtherance of a business because business includes the vocation. So, sale of a painting by Mr. A qualifies as a supply. Services provided by a club or an association to its member for a consideration is a supply because services provided by club to its member would form part of a business as per section 2 subsection 17. Same for example, a residential welfare association provide a service of a depositing the light bill of the resident in lieu of some nominal charges. So the provision of a services by club or a association or a society to its member is treated as a supply as it is included in the definition of a business. How it will be supplied? As services provided by club or association to its business for a consideration would be considered as a business. So clause A, condition for the purpose of business is satisfied. Further, consideration is charged, yes, nominal charge. So condition number 2 is satisfied. Whether it is a services, yes, it is a supply of a services. So supply of services just like a depositing, providing a service for the purpose of depositing the electricity bill with consideration that is a nominal charges will be considered as a supply because the definition of a business include services provided by a club or an association to its member for a consideration would form part of a business. Now, the definition of a business will also include that admission of a person to any premises for a consideration. So, services provided by way of admission to any circus, cinema hall, amusement park, including the theme park, water park, etc. are considered as a supply as this services is by way of admission of a person to any premises for a consideration. So, admission of a person for a consideration to any premises would form part of a business. So, condition number 3 that is business satisfied. Condition number 1 supply includes goods or a supply of goods or a services or a both. So, supply of services in the form of admission to the premises. Now, consideration is charged or not? Yes, consideration is charged via the entry fee and extra. So, it will be considered as a part of a supply. Now, business include the activity of a race club, including by of a totalizer or a license to a bookkeeper or an activity of a license maker in a such club. ABC Race Club is engaged in a facilitating the wagering or a betting transaction on a host place through totalization. For providing the services of facilitating a wagering a transaction, ABC Race Club gets commission which is deducted from and written by club from the total bet value. Shared services amount to the supply at the activity of a race club are included in the definition of a business. So this was the discussion on the definition of a supply and a schedule 1. We have already correlated the definition of a supply with the term consideration as well as with the term of a business with a various example. We have not discussed today the schedule 2 as well as the schedule 3. We will discuss schedule 2 and schedule 3 in a separate video. So we end with this video. Thank you very much.